how else to start this. I wish we never parted, but what matters more than that is that I have my heart fixed, not just torn apart, stitched, but again a newborn. Like transformed garbage, old me's not worth to mourn. He was smitten and died, now my life's hidden with cries. Now my vision is right, blind till he got rid of my pride. Now in him I'm resting in eternal treasures, investing. Now I'm daily pressing on, but assured of where I'm destined. My rebellious decadence chose not to see evidence, till I said that skeptic's prayer. He answered my request to Vince, manifested his presence in my crib, and I was left convinced. And the God I attempted to destroy, I've been defending since. At times I kick back, press play and reminisce. Without my best friend, my life's empty like a feminist. Feeling abandonment, missing our companionship. Didn't expect me finding God would be the thing ending it. You knew the old me, knew the soul benighted in me. You knew the side that's grim, that almost died in sin. Who knew I delight in him, who makes bright what's dim. Who knew I'd invite him in, to him hold tight and cling. We would lyrically fight on beats, now I'm fighting sin. Now he's the closest one I am confiding in. So even though I pray that we still might be friends, you don't have to be right with me, just be right with him. I was so glad to be part of the group we had, too deep, but now it saddens me whenever I look back and see that twice you clashed with me, wanted to turn your back to me, in rhymes attacking me like that's the way you had to be. But I ain't mad, you see, because I'm largely to blame. I never had to be, but I was haughty the same. We both wanted to conquer, to see who could be harsher. Why'd we bother to foster feelings that just grew darker and grow farther as partners, all just for senseless slaughter? My confirmation sponsor, you saw a somber monster, a mocker, a scoffer, with his anti-God words, spewing whatever would stop your faith. At least make sure it got hurt. Now the tension feels more awkward than when we at odds were. Now adopted to live proper, life offered to the Father. Now I honor the doctor who gave life to these bones. Isn't this what you wanted from me, for the light to be known? You knew the old me, knew the soul benighted in me. You knew the side that's grim, that almost died in sin. Who knew I delight in him, who makes bright what's dim. Who knew I'd invite him in, to him hold tight and cling. We would lyrically fight on beats, now I'm fighting sin. Now he's the closest one I am confiding in. And even though I hope a renewed friendship might begin, you don't have to be right with me, just be right with him. Your faith I vilified, each other we victimized. Don't know why we agreed twice that we will collide with vicious material. Now I see this Israel, ethereal. I wrestled with God like Israel. My vitriol was volatile, my words were an arsenal. Thought questions about the meaning of life were all insolvable. To have my heart changed, I thought it'd be impossible to come out of a dark place. Now I'm a living miracle, was inimical to critical. Now that's what our friendship status, like the valley of dry bones. I pray God resuscitates it. Please don't take this the wrong way, I'm just a brother concerned. In his father's house, I hope you got his spot he reserved. You saw me play with fire and I almost got burned, but I got right with God and now in the Lord I stand firm. But this isn't about me, it's more serious. It's about you and God and how near he is. You knew the old me, knew the soul benighted in me. You knew the side that's grim, that almost died in sin. Who knew I delight in him, who makes bright what's dim. Who knew I'd invite him in, to him hold tight and cling. We would lyrically fight on beats, now I'm fighting sin. Now he's the closest one I am confiding in. So even though I pray that we still might be friends, you don't have to be right with me, just be right with him. Though we became opponents with the cold as of this is, you were there in my lowness. My soul is in distress, only you made me feel noticed. Consoled in my depression, now I got the comforter. Saved my soul, it's Christmas. I angrily suppressed the truth as my soul cried in pain. Used to say to live is to suffer, now I know to die is gain. If we suffer with him we'll rise to reign. Like ambassador, I find a loophole that provides escape. I became born again, my whole life was changed. Once I denied my frame for his highest name. Not just an image improved, but spirit conviction induced. Admit it is true, now worship none but him in spirit and truth. Woke up to the reality of humanity's malady, in chaos and catastrophe, total depravity. So there's apologies, the least I could let you have is deserved. You came to my baptism, but then you rapidly turned. Don't want this rap to disturb, I just hope that you can learn why it's from mass that I churned. Already baptized and confirmed, after a past full of spurn, couldn't help but have to discern that there's more to living for Christ than getting sacraments in churn. Cause they're all empty without his works deep entirety. There's nothing more to add, not even a friar's deep piety. Disbelieving I tried to stop you from reaching the sky, like you were ascending Jacob's ladder to proceed to the light. And I was taking the stones off that place and heaving them high, in order to hit you so you'd slip your feet and meet your demise. Now I want you to be careful of what you're believing is right, cause spirits deceive and entice. They're teaching the lie that there's forbidden knowledge we need to seek to be wise, instead of trusting God and the word that he has supplied. In tandem we roll wrote mean words that began as a joke. I was firing shots at you that would land and explode. Now the cannon is closed, why are we still standing exposed? You see me go from the opposite ends of the scope. By grace alone, through faith alone, so no man can boast. Only his work on the cross was the end that it told. Once for all, it was finished when he surrendered his ghost. I contribute nothing but the sin that made him hang, but he rose. So all glory belongs to I am that I am, him alone. All we need to know is in the Bible that stands on its own. And the word was discovered, not chosen by man, but disclosed. So those so-called lost books weren't in it to be banned, it's a hoax. So don't fall for forgeries or for these devilish lies, but revel in Christ, the God-man who never sinned, died. The perfect sacrifice, a top lamb with no blemish in sight. In 3 days he rebuilt his destroyed temple to rise. Now he's forever alive, coming back in splendor and triumph. So be adorned for the day he finally fetches his bride. You knew the old me, knew the soul benighted in me. You knew the side that's grim, that almost died in sin. Who knew I delight in him, who makes right what's dim. Who knew I'd invite him in, to him hold tight and cling. We would lyrically fight on beats, now I'm fighting sin. Now he's the closest one I am confiding in. And even though I hope a renewed friendship might begin, you don't have to be right with me, just be right with him. I know how strange it must be for you to see this new man, after knowing the old me who made you a misused friend. I'd intrude my views into a fuming feud with you and disputed your beliefs impugn to disprove them. Now I'm asking for forgiveness, seeking this rift to mend. Don't know what you've been told, but the truth is I miss you, man. We were like brothers, even though we had issues then. So I thought that this would help us, but just like my sis, you went. Still for all the strife, I apologize for what I said and made you think, for all the assaults and rhyme, for forcing my views onto you as I tried to falsify. But it was what I believed, that was all a lie. Like Saul, I like to devastate and traumatize, and I like Saul was blind. You saw us brawl with lines, cause I believed we came from ponds, come the crawled and slime. Now we're both salt and light, now we're both exalting Christ. Now we both believe in the same house, but walls divide. So like contractors, wish we could put them all aside. Sorry I influenced you and was a nuisance too, made you doubt and question your faith till you threw it too. In conclusion, you witnessed grace infused into my soul. This is the true me who God was pursuing through you. So whatever happens to us through this tune, may it be what he chooses to. Just try to know him through and through. And in case this offends you, please let me be excused. I may remain eschewed, but whatever ensues, even if I don't reach you, may God bless you and keep you. I may no longer speak to you or get a chance to greet you, but it's okay if in this life our friendship won't be renewed, cause one day I may see you by the blood we're redeemed through. So if nothing else, let my life change be your message from God. Reborn on the inside, my soul finally rested from sobs. You knew the old me, knew the soul benighted in me. You knew the side that's grim, that almost died in sin. Who knew I delight in him, who makes bright what's dim. Who knew I'd invite him in, to him hold tight and cling. We would lyrically fight on beats, now I'm fighting sin. Now he's the closest one I am confiding in. So even though I pray that we still might be friends, you don't have to be right with me, just be right with him. You knew the old me, knew the soul benighted in me. You knew the side that's grim, that almost died in sin. Who knew I delight in him, who makes right what's dim. Who knew I'd invite him in, to him hold tight and cling. We would lyrically fight on beats, now I'm fighting sin. Now he's the closest one I am confiding in. And even though I hope a renewed friendship might begin, you don't have to be right with me, just be right with him. So if nothing else, let my life change be your message from God. Reborn on the inside, my soul finally rested from sobs. So if nothing else, let my life change be your message from God. Reborn on the inside, my soul finally rested from sobs.